Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, just a few hours ago, I finally got around to watching NXT Worlds Collide on Peacock. And I just wanted to get on here right quick and just give my thoughts on the matches and just the overall show. So, NXT Worlds Collide. It was only 5 matches for the show. A lot of NXT 2.0 talent as well as NXT UK talent. And, NXT UK just finished not too long ago showing their final episode on Peacock of NXT UK. But let's get into these matches. So they opened up Worlds Collide with the NXT North American Championship as Carmelo Hayes defended against the one and only Ricochet. I really enjoyed this match. I mean, these two guys put on a high-flying clinic. It was very fancy, and they were trading moves back and forth, and honestly, this was quite an excellent way to kick off this event. My only issue is I really, really wish that it wouldn't have had the interference from Trick Williams. Like, my thing about heels that have managers, I just really get annoyed sometimes when you have really great wrestlers, that are great in the ring, with great in-ring ability, and it's like sometimes the distractions get a little too much, especially in a matchup like this. I mean, Ricochet, excellent high flyer. Carmelo Hayes, very great high flyer, definitely been on the up and coming in WWE through NXT. So I really would have liked a segment where Trick Williams got ejected, and it would have been nice to see Carmelo Hayes get this victory on his own without any interference, because honestly, I really felt like he was very capable of defeating Ricochet without the Trick Williams interferences. So that was the only bad thing about this match, but the quality of the match itself was great. These two are great high flyers, and even though Ricochet didn't get the victory, overall, he tried to go for a shooting star press, landed on his feet, but Carmelo Hayes was able to roll him up with a small package to get the 1, 2, 3. I gotta say, the sell that Ricochet had on the lung blower was insane. That was an insane sell on that, as well as Carmelo Hayes' sell of the Poison Rana. But yeah, this match was excellent. This was an excellent match. Carmelo Hayes adds another jersey to his list as he was able to defeat the one and only Ricochet. Great match. What a match to start off Worlds Collide. Definitely enjoyed it, but it could have used less interference, less presence of Trick Williams, but that's just my personal opinion. But still, the match was excellent. Definitely enjoyed the match. Next up, we had the Fatal 4-Way Elimination Tag Team match to unify the NXT and the NXT UK tag titles. So we had the 4 teams of Pretty Deadly, who are accompanied by Lash Legend, Briggs and Jensen, who are accompanied by Fallon Henley, Briggs and Jensen, who are the NXT UK tag champions. You had Gallus, which was Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, accompanied by Joe Coffey. And then you had the NXT Tag Team Champions, Diamond Mines, Creed Brothers, accompanied by Damon Kemp. Now, this was a very action-packed match, which, of course, Fatal 4-Way, and it was elimination-style rules, so I thought that was pretty cool. But when it came down to it, Gallus eliminated Briggs and Jensen. And then the Creed brothers eliminated Gallus. So it came down to the Creed brothers and Pretty Deadly. Now, of course, there was a scuffle on the outside because, Lash Legend got involved, and then Fallon Henley and Lash Legend went at it, and even Briggs and Jensen and Gallus went at it. Even after they were both eliminated, they went at it a lot. But it was definitely a very action-packed match from all four teams. There was even a moment where Pretty Deadly and Gallus seemed to have teamed up for a bit going against Briggs and Jensen and the Creed brothers, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, both teams are from NXT UK. But it came down to the last key moment that set the match at its conclusion. And that was when Damon Kemp turned on Julius Creed, hitting him in the back with the chair. Pretty Deadly cleans up the scraps, gets the 1, 2, 3, and Pretty Deadly are now your unified NXT Tag Team Champions. There was a segment early in the show that took the cameras to the parking lot showing a busted up, beaten down, unconscious Roderick Strong. And of course, Ivy Nile went with Roderick Strong as he was loaded to the back of an ambulance, taken to a hospital. So, put two and two together, it's safe to say that Damon Kemp was the one that took out Roderick Strong, and therefore is really the mole of Diamond Mine that thwarted the Creed brothers and attacked Roderick Strong. So Damon Kemp turns on Diamond Mine. That was quite a turn of events. That was quite a turn of events there. It was very interesting. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. Since right now it's Monday, it's Labor Day. We'll have to see what happens on Tuesday. As far as the Creed brothers and Damon Kemp. I mean, pretty much Diamond Mine, it's safe to say, has imploded. They've imploded. But Pretty Deadly, Elton Princeton, Kit Wilson are now your unified NXT Tag Team Champs. Not really who I had in mind to win, but with Damon Kemp turning on Diamond Mine, I figured it wasn't going to be Briggs and Jensen, but, Gallus would have been nice as well, but Pretty Deadly has the titles. They're the champs, so, this relationship with them and Lash Legend is apparently a thing now, so I guess Lash Legend's going to be managing them, so we'll see how their run goes now that they're the champs. Okay, next up we had the triple threat match to unify the NXT UK and Nxt Women'S Championships. We had Blair Davenport taking on NXT Champion, Women's Champion Mandy Rose, and NXT UK Women's Champion Meiko Satomura. It was a good match. I'll say it was a good match. I will say that. It was a good match. And I'm actually kind of surprised that Toxic Attraction didn't interfere. I was very shocked that they didn't interfere. But let's keep it real. I still stand strongly by this. I was shocked that Mandy Rose won this match. Did the V-trigger, the knee strike, taking out both Blair Davenport and Meiko Satomura after Meiko Satomura hit a Scorpio Rising on Blair Davenport while she was trying to cover Mandy Rose, and Mandy Rose took advantage. But let's keep it real. For the biggest percentage of this match, Blair Davenport and Meiko Satomura carried this match. Now, I know some want to say, well, Meiko didn't get pinned, so it's not that bad. It's still bad. that either of those ladies were to get pinned. Blair Davenport, aka B. Priestley, is a world-class athlete and was a top gaijin in Stardom, former World of Stardom champion. Great wrestler. Meiko Satomura, a legend, the final boss. I don't even have to go into that. But I still stand strongly that it's kind of ridiculous that they pulled the trigger and Mandy Rose is the unified champ going forward. And she really had no business going over both these ladies. I'm sorry, but her in-ring ability is nowhere near in the same league as Meiko Satomura and Blair Davenport. It's not even close. It's not even close. Don't get me wrong. Mandy Rose coming back to NXT was the right decision. Because she, aside from the feud she had with Sonya Deville, everything else she was doing there wasn't really good. I mean, the whole pairing with Dana Brooke, terrible. So, yes, when she came back to NXT, did she get better? Sure, I give her that. Do I put her in the same area as like a Maurice or a Eva Marie? No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. But let's keep it real. Mandy Rose compared to Meiko Satomura and Blair Davenport, it's clearly night and day. And most of her matches, she can't even win on her own without Toxic Attraction. I mean, this just happened to be one that didn't involve Toxic Attraction, but, I mean, it wasn't a one-on-one match. It was a triple threat match. But I'm just really shocked. This must be a HBK Shawn Michaels decision. Maybe he pulled the trigger on this, but Mandy Rose is mostly eye candy. And her in-ring ability doesn't top her eye candy. Let's just keep it real. I'm not saying she's, a trash wrestler, but compared to Meiko Satomura and Blair Davenport, there's no comparison. There's no comparison. So I'm just really curious as to who's gonna be next. Who's gonna be in line to challenge Mandy Rose next? Because I mean, coming out of a match like that against the likes of Blair Davenport and Meiko Satomura, I mean, like I said, I don't agree with the outcome. It was a good match, but I do not agree with the outcome at all. It really makes no sense to me. But let's continue. We had the NXT Women's Tag Team titles on the line as Katana Chance and Caden Carter, the champions, defended against the team of Doudrop and Nikki A.S.H. This match was all right. Both teams were showcased pretty well, but I did not expect for Toxic Attraction to show up and interfere and provide a distraction, which honestly I don't know how it didn't lead to a DQ, but Carter and Chance took advantage and was able to hit their double team finisher onto I believe it was Doudrop and pick up the 1-2-3. And honestly, it's kind of a bummer because this is really one that they could have won without the interference. And I'm very shocked that Toxic Attraction came out for this match. Was really shocked. But, I mean, I don't know, y'all. Maybe they're going to do something on NXT for a while between Toxic Attraction and Nikki A.S.H. and Doudrop. I mean, that could be a possibility. I don't know. But I just felt like it was kind of weird that that this was the match they interfered in. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just it was just weird. That was a very weird sequence to me. But the match was all right, I guess. So And then you have the main event. The main event. The title unification match of the NXT Championship and the NXT United Kingdom Championship. The NXT UK champion Tyler Bate takes on the NXT champion Bron Breakker. This was an excellent match. Although there was a time in the middle of the match where the pace started to slow down just a little bit, but overall this was a solid match. Both went back and forth. I mean, these are two great athletes. Both are two-time champions in their respective titles, their respective brands. And you know what? This was, if anything that would lead to, the last, the ending of an era for NXT UK, this was definitely a way to do it. This was definitely a way to do it. It was back and forth. Both used their finishers. I mean, that Gorilla Press Power Slam, Tyler Bate kicked out of, or got his foot on the rope. You had Bron Breakker kick out of the Tyler Driver 97. But despite the back and forth, and even hit an airplane spin, so it was cool to see that. Tyler Bate was doing his thing, but so was Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker did even a Frankensteiner, did a standing moonsault. He got a lot of height on that standing moonsault. I was very impressed with Bron Breakker. That dude's got some height on his vertical. But when it was all said and done, as Tyler Bate was going for a second springboard clothesline, he ate a spear after the springboard part out of nowhere. Just quick reaction from Bron Breakker. Got the 1, 2, 3, and therefore Bron Breakker is your unified NXT champion. So he dethrones Tyler Bate, thus the end of an era that is NXT UK. And of course, great sign of sportsmanship from Tyler Bate after the match. They hugged it out. He put the titles on his shoulders. So, I just really feel like that was quite a way to, put the end of an era in NXT UK. And when you think about it, look who walked away with championships. I mean, the only UK talent that walked away with championships were pretty deadly. So, I mean, can't be 100% surprised. But they had to do what they were going to do to keep the brand strong that they have on NXT 2.0. But, you know what? I definitely enjoyed watching NXT UK. I mean, it lasted from, June 18th of 2018 all the way to September 4th of 2022. So, good handful of years there. I know they kicked off the NXT United Kingdom tournament first before NXT UK became a thing, but it was a nice way of doing the tournament that led to NXT UK happening. But overall, I enjoyed watching NXT UK. Had a lot of great moments. I mean, Tyler Bate was the first NXT United Kingdom champion. And they had many great champions. Had him, Pete Dunne, Falter, Ilya Dragunov. They had some great NXT UK tag team champions. Had Gallus, Mustache Mountain, Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster. They had Pretty Deadly. So they had a lot of great teams. Had a lot of great NXT UK Women's Champions. Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, Meiko Satomura, Kaylee Ray. there was a lot of great moments. There was definitely a lot of great moments. Oh, duh, the NXT UK Heritage Cup. Oh, and excuse me, I totally forgot to mention GYV, Grizzled Young Veterans. Grizzled Young Veterans. They were the first. They were the first. So they were the first NXT UK Tag Team Champs. So, man, I knew I was missing somebody. They were the first champs. And of course, the Heritage Cup. You know, you had a lot of great NXT UK Heritage Cup title holders. A-Kid, Tyler Bate, Noam Dar, Mark Coffey. You know, there was a lot. I was hoping that was something that they would keep and just bring it over to NXT 2.0. But maybe that's something that they might bring back for NXT Europe, perhaps. We'll see. But I got word that the Heritage Cup was officially retired. Or not retired, but well, actually, yeah, retired. So apparently it was retired / deactivated in preparation of NXT Europe. But who knows? Maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe they'll bring it back, maybe in a different form with a different name. But we'll see. It's just kind of a bummer because, you know, there have only been 4 holders of this championship. So, you know, Noam Dar was the only 2-time Heritage Cup champ. So, I mean, overall, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, they had the title unification matches. I mean, that was the main prime point of Worlds Collide. You know, it just would have been nice if the Heritage Cup could have been kept, but it wasn't. So, we'll have to see what happens on Tuesday going forward. You know, see what kind of competitors will be the next challengers for these championships, you know? And then we'll have to see what happens with some of the talent. Because I assume, despite they did let go a lot of talent from NXT UK, but they kept a decent handful. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I mean, for folks like Tyler Bate, I mean, Tyler Bate could stay on NXT 2.0, or hey, Tyler Bate could get the call up to the main roster. I mean, why not? He could get the call up to the main roster. So, we'll see. Mako Satomura, same thing. She could get the call up, or I know she was also a trainer as well when she was with NXT UK, so I don't know if that's a role she'll keep, but maybe it'll be on NXT 2.0, or she may get brought up to the main roster. Same with Blair Davenport. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens to a lot of these folks. But it's the end of an era for NXT UK. This was a decent show. You know, only 5 matches, so not really a whole lot. But for the most part, they were pretty good matches. I just wasn't really a fan of Mandy Rose winning. But that's just me. But anyway, that's pretty much all that I have. Let me know what y'all thought of Worlds Collide. Did you like the matches? What did you think of the outcomes? What do you look forward to next? Now that NXT UK is over, we'll have to see what happens once NXT Europe begins in 2023. We got a ways to go. It's only September, so still got a ways to go. But that's another weekend of pro wrestling in the books. We'll see what happens this week and going forward. But until then, Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the content. For another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming, I'm your host, Jason Ingram. Happy Labor Day, and hope everybody enjoys this day and their week. And I will see y'all in the next video. Take care. Peace out.